Andrew Tucker, and welcome
in 2 miles,
to Andrew Tucker World. What's going on, all my great people? What's going on, all my boxing fans? Yeah, this is gonna be a quick video, real quick video. What do some of these fighters? I'm not gonna name a lot of fighters. I'm only gonna name a few fighters. What does these fighters have in common? You know, what does these fighters have in common? We talking about Anthony Joshua. You know, a Canelo Alvarez. You know, Manny Pacquiao is now retired. And I can also say a Floyd Mayweather Jr. I can also say a Josh Taylor. I can also say a Terrence Crawford. I can also say Errol Spence Jr. You know, what does these fighters have, and what do these fighters have in common? What do these fighters have in common? You know, I look at the accolades, right? I look at the accolades, and a few more fighters I can name. A few more fighters I can name, but I'm just gonna only name. I'm just gonna only name those few fighters. What do they have in common? They have great fighters. I'm going to tell you what they have in common. They have great fighters on their resume. What they have accomplished.
Use the right lane to take exit 356B onto State Road 150.
Hey Siri, cancel. Hey Siri, cancel navigation. Hey Siri, cancel navigation. What do these fighters have in common? The accolades, right? The guys they have beaten, the guys that's on their resume. The guys that's on their resumes, right? The guys that's on their resumes, the guys they have beaten, the guys they have faced, right?
In 3/4 of a mile, turn left onto Edgewood Avenue West.
So all I'm saying is that it's no reason. Certain fighters ain't doing what these fighters are doing. You know, certain fighters haven't yet to accomplish what these few fighters have accomplished. Now, especially, and I'm gonna say Oleksandr Usyk. Oleksandr Usyk have beaten some very tough guys, tough and dangerous guys, and elite level fighters when he was at cruiserweight. When he was at cruiserweight, he has beaten elite level fighters at cruiserweight. I can name 3 that he has beaten. He's former undisputed cruiserweight champion, now 2-division world champion, now unified heavyweight champion. You look at his resume. Look at his resume. Look at the guys he has beaten. Look at the guys he has faced. Look at his resume. Terrence Crawford, you guys say he haven't fought anybody. Look at his resume. I can point out a few fighters.
Go past this light. Then at the next
I can point out a few fighters that were on an elite level. A few fighters that were on an elite level.
Onto Edgewood Avenue West.
He was former 140-pound, former junior lightweight, undisputed champion. He was former junior lightweight. Junior welterweight. Junior welterweight. Or you can say light welterweight or junior welterweight. He was former junior welterweight, undisputed champion. At his first fight at 147, when it was hard to get the other guys. I'm not going to get into that. He fought his first fight he was in position to fight for that title, which was the WBO welterweight championship, the WBO belt, which was held by Jeff Horn, that went to war and was in a very close fight with Manny Pacquiao. You know, Terrence Crawford stepped in the ring, took that belt, the WBO title, away from Jeff Horn. Canelo Alvarez.
In half a mile, turn right on
Terrence Crawford recently stopped Sean Porter, a fighter that have never been stopped ever in his career before facing Terrence Crawford. Never have been stopped. Sean Porter never have been stopped. We're talking about a 2-time welterweight champion with one of the best resumes in the welterweight division. Sean Porter was stopped by Terrence Crawford, one of the best fighters in the world, pound for pound. There's no reason for Terrence Crawford to be getting hate. There's no reason for Terrence Crawford to be, for you guys to be attacking Terrence Crawford. There's no reason for you guys to be attacking Errol Spence Jr. I know he's been at welterweight for a minute, but look at his resume. He has an amazing resume. He has an awesome resume. Look at his resume. Unified welterweight champion. Unified welterweight champion. There's no reason for us to hate on Errol Spence Jr. Now, you can hold him accountable, and you might be against some of the things he have said in the past, and the way he's moving, the things he have done, and not agreeing. The situation with him and Bud, not acting. He's acting like he doesn't have any interest in fighting Bud and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, look at his resume. Look at Bud's resume. Look what these fighters have accomplished. You guys have no reason to hate on these fighters, man. You guys have no reason to hate. If you want to hold a fighter accountable, you can hold a fighter accountable. But you guys have no reason to hate on Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez is a four-division world champion. A four-division world champion. A four-division world champion. And you guys are saying that the super middleweight division is a weak division. No, it's not. It's not a weak division. The super middleweight division is not a weak division. You guys are saying the super middleweight division is a weak division. No, it is not. If you say that you know boxing, if you know boxing and you follow the sport and you know a lot about boxing, then you will know there's some very skilled, very tough and dangerous fighters at super middleweight. Canelo Alvarez, in a short span of time, in a short period of time, was able to become super middleweight undisputed champion in a short amount of time, in a short period of time. He was able to do that. Look at all the guys he have faced. Look at all the guys he have beaten. Look at all the names on his resume. Champions, Hall of Famers on his resume. Now, you can hold him accountable. You can go at Canelo and say, well, he didn't fight this guy, he didn't fight that guy. But are these other fighters doing what he doing? Are these other fighters doing what Canelo is doing? Is they moving the way Canelo is moving? Why he is one of the faces of boxing? Why he is one of the faces, if not the face of boxing? Look at what he was able to accomplish. You guys it's nothing. It gotta be hate. You're trying to hold a fighter accountable, but I guess you're not looking at what the fighter has recently accomplished, his accolades, what he have done in the sport of boxing. But you say, he's avoided this fighter. But some of the legendary fighters, some of the best fighters in boxing history, and some of the legendary fighters, some of the most skilled and dangerous legendary fighters and all-time greats and a lot of goats, the goats in the sport of boxing, in the boxing history, legends, they may have avoided certain fighters and things of that nature. But look at the guys that made them great. Look at what allowed them to become a legend, allowed them to become a Hall of Famer, allowed them to become a legend or one of the GOATs, or a legend, or a Hall of Famer, or a legendary fighter. So at the end of the day, you want to criticize, hold accountable, but don't forget about what the fighter has accomplished. Don't forget about what the fighter has accomplished. Oleksandr Usyk, Canelo Alvarez, Anthony Joshua, two-time unified heavyweight champion. Two-time unified heavyweight champion. Look at the guys on his resume. Josh Taylor, Canelo Alvarez, Manny Pacquiao, who is now retired. 8 division. Ain't no fighter ever done that ever in the history of the sport. No fighter ever done that in the history of the sport. 8 division world champion. Has fought in Hall of Famers, legends. 8 division. Won titles in 8 division. 8 divisions. Manny Pacquiao, all-time great. One of the best fighters to ever do it. A legend. Hall of Famer. An icon. Floyd Mayweather Jr., 5 division world champion. Look at all the guys on his resume. You guys can either hate him or love him, but he's fought the best. Legends, Hall of Famers, champions, young former champions. That's what those guys have in common. Their resumes, the accolades, what they have accomplished. So there's no reason to hate on these fighters. There's no reason to come at these fighters. There's no reason to disrespect these fighters. But yes, if you want to call them out on their BS, well, that's you. I'm not going to do it. I don't care about what they in their personal life. I want them to be 100% dedicated, 100% motivated, 100% focused on their craft, 100% focused on the sport of boxing. And whatever doesn't break a fighter only makes them stronger. It's not how you fall, it's how you get back up. Anthony Joshua is a prime example of that. So start praising these fighters for what they accomplished in the sport. And stop attacking them and having so much hate and saying you criticize them and holding them accountable. Oh, come on. Like, are you boxing? Are you a fighter? But yes, encourage them, motivate them, inspire them to keep boxing and stay focused on their craft. Stay focused. Don't get caught up in the lifestyle of smoking weed and doing drugs and fighting and going to clubs and partying, drinking and smoking, and get caught up doing crazy stuff and dumb stuff. Marius Breedis, another fighter. Andrew Tucker, World, I'm out. Much love and respect.